Welcome to the video. This video was going to be a repair on the fuel pump and then a tune-up of the Cub Cadet. But then as we started getting to it, the video was getting a little bit too long, so I decided to split it up into two separate videos just to make it a little bit more YouTube friendly to be searched for. However, I'm going to release them on the exact same time, so once you watch this video, make sure you go watch the other video. It's a companion video of the second part of the tune-up that we did. I appreciate you coming by the Garage Engineer channel and enjoy the film. So this is an old RZT Cub Cadet that I found off Facebook. Everything was working. The motor was in great shape, and I really love these Kawasaki's, the FR651Vs. They're pretty strong. This is a lower end, probably a Home Depot special. The reason I got it so cheap was the deck on these things. The metal's so thin that, and you can see if you don't clean it properly, the grass will collect. And see, it creates moisture and then rust. Well, what happens is the connection points of the pulleys start to rust out, and that's why the owner decided to sell it rather than fix it. And I gave a great opportunity for us to fix it, and you'll see in a previous video of how we fixed the deck and got it working, and I've had it for about 2 or 3 years now, and it works great. But the problem we have today is the fuel pump. If it sits for about a week and a half, I think the fuel is running back into the tank, or at least running back through here. So I'm having poor draw when I start it up. Let's give it a try, see if it's doing that today. But I think it's just getting weak. Either there's a check valve in there, or the pump is starting to fail. So I want to go ahead and get that changed. And then you can see right here, the filter looks terrible, so we're going to change that out. And we'll do a little bit more maintenance on that. So that's the problem we're having. Let's try it again. It's just not getting. It's just not getting any fuel. And the way I fix it is I've been just taking it off here, taking the hose off and letting it prime itself, and then it usually pushes its way through and it works okay. So let's get that changed out and we'll test it and see if that fixes the problem. Alright, so let's get our Icon 1/4-inch drive with a flex head on it. Now the fuel pump is attached by Phillips head screws, so we're going to get those off. I guess let's get the hoses off first. Be a little bit easier while it's disconnected. I mean, while it's connected. There's one. Alright, this one's already disconnected probably from last week. This goes to the main supply. And there could be, we'll check the hoses too, there could be a crack in the hose and it could be allowing air in. That could be another reason. Because once the fuel was primed, it would run. Except when I was cutting the grass, I did have kind of some hesitation, so that could be the pump dying too. And this is going to the crankcase where it's pulsing, and that's what's causing the pump to pump with the pressure change. Alright, let's get this one off here. These are just plastic cutting screws. See, it's dry on that side. There's fuel getting to there, so it's probably about time. That's probably the original one. Made in Japan. Yeah, this is probably the original piece. Alright, so this is our Amazon special. I didn't go with the OEM. I went with a kit. Let's see what we got. We got a nice big fuel filter. Put that on first. And then we've got our fuel pump here. Let's check it out to make sure it's the same. Everything seems to line up just right. Interesting, yeah. It's about the same. Alright. We'll get this fuel filter on first. Fuel filter stuck in there. Alright, let's see if we can get this off here. And I haven't shut anything up, the fuel off, so it's probably gonna leak. Yeah, we gotta cut this. We're gonna have to cut this fuel line. We're gonna cut it. Let's cut it anyway. Because it's all worn out on the end there. Well, why is it not cutting? There you go. Yeah, this filter's pretty dirty. Alright, let's see if we can get it off. Alright, that filter fought me. That was deep down in there. That was long. And it was stuck. You can see where I was twisting it. It was just twisting up. So it was deep. But we got it out. And we'll hook it back up here. Alright, let's cut the... I'm going to cut the end off just to clean it up a little bit. Just so it's neater. There you go. That way it will avoid any, if it's small cracks and letting any air in. That could be causing a vacuum issue, which I don't think it was, but as old as this has been, it was about time for it anyway. So let's add the bolts there. Trying to do it right-handed here. Let's see if we can get up. There you go. Alright. We'll do the intake. Come back just a little bit. There you go. And then to the carb. Just like that. There you go. Hose is tight. Just get it so it holds it. Don't get it super tight because you want it to be a little bit loose so we can get the second screw in. And if you're wondering, this is my icon set that was probably a year ago. What was it, 2 years ago? This was the set to find. I couldn't find it. It was one of my favorite 1/4 inch ratcheting set. And now they just released a new version that actually came with sockets. That was the one thing I didn't like about this kit right here, is that it didn't have sockets included. It was just all the different drive heads. Now they've got some super kit that has the sockets included. But I've also got the Wera Check Plus, and it has everything in that too, so I don't really think I'm going to be buying it or reviewing it or anything. That hose is a little short. I think we're going to replace this hose. But this is still, I really like the size of this. Gets in really small areas, and the head's flexible too. That's kind of cool. Okay, I don't like this. See this hose right here? It's slipping like that. I'm sure it's alright, but it's just so tight, and it's going to the carb right here. It's just barely too short, so I think we're going to replace that. I've got a little bit of hose. I'd rather it be fully on, because that might be an issue of why it was leaking too. But I didn't notice it to be that loose. Everywhere else is pretty tight. Yeah, so let's get another hose for that right there. Alright, so we got some new hose line. I've got a new clamp. We'll put that on. And then let's get the old one off here. Yeah, that came off way too easy. And then we've got to get this hose. We'll just bend the hose clamp there. And then we've got right under here. Oh, that's even loose. Oh, that's the other one. This goes to the carb. We'll disconnect the hose from the carb here. There you go. We'll reuse this clamp, maybe. It might be too, yeah, we'll reuse that clamp. So now we just need to measure our hose coming from back here. I'm going to cut the end here, make it a nice clean cut. Oh, it's tight. I hope this is the right diameter. The internal diameter of this fuel line might be a tad small, but it's on there tight. It's what I had. It'll work. It's definitely tight on there, so that's good. Alright. There's that. So now we'll just measure. I'll give it a little bit of slack. It didn't have much slack before. Right there. Perfect. Oh, where's my clamp? We lost the clamp. Found the clamp. Let's try that again here. There you go. Perfect. Bend that back up. There. A little bit more slack there. That should do it. All right, so let's test it back up. So we expect it to take a few minutes to, or a few seconds to prime the fuel, but I hope it should start pretty quick. Let's give it a try. We got choke on. All right, here we go. Oh, forgot to turn the fuel on. That would help. Fuel filter hasn't filled up with any. We've got gas, so that's good. Always check that. All right. That's awesome. I didn't see any leaks. That's always a good thing. And once the fuel filter filled up, it started right up like it used to. So definitely either had a vacuum leak or the pump was failing. Either way, we got it sorted out and we're good to go. Next, I think it's time for oil change. It's been a while. You've watched the first video of the two-part series of this Cub Cadet tune-up and repair. So look in the video description below for the other video, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. And if you'd like to see more videos like the one that you just saw, you can check here and here. And remember the ABCs of making. Always be creating. Till next time.